Alrighty, so today we're going to be looking at Greytoast, who is playing Tracer in Silver on King's Row. There was a little hiccup while recording, so he missed the first fight, but basically he says they got a 3K, they cleaned up, they moved on. So, let's dive right in. Off the bat, you have Lucio Brig, which is a little rough. You have Ryan Zarya, which is good. You have Reaper, which kind of works well in the whole theme of the comp. And then there's you as Tracer. So, looking at your comp, right, if I was to play in this situation, I would not be expecting a lot of heals. And that's because in order to get healed by Lucio, I gotta be right next to him. And then while Brig can throw me an armor pack, you don't have a lot of big heals, so she's mainly going to be throwing armor packs at these guys. Right? She's not really going to be trying to get you with armor packs. So realistically, I would not be expecting big heals from my team. Now, what are you up against? You're up against Rein, D.Va, Reaper, Pharah, Zen, Ana. Okay, so this is pretty good for your team. Now, they have stronger heals into their tank line, right? And Pharah can be topped up by Zen pretty well. But you've got the speed boost, you've got 2 stacking AoE heals, you've got stun to deal with their Reaper, you've got bubbles to deal with their Reaper, and their healers are very susceptible to being destroyed by Tracers. I haven't actually even had a rough look through this real quick to see how it's going, but this isn't too bad. You can actually get value against this team comp just by annoying the crap out of their healers. And so against this comp, you don't even need to kill people. You just need to distract their Ana enough that she stops healing up her team. Right? If you can get her looking behind away from her team and shooting at you or trying to sleep you, that's time that she's not healing up her team. Which means that's time that your team can be beating the crap out of their team while they're only getting 1 Zen ball for heals. So, we'll take a look and see how this goes. And we'll see kind of how you play it and go from there. Alright, so you decide to go to cart, which is fine. You drop your Brig. Eat a fire strike, but you're on cart and you're getting Lucio heals, so that's okay. You're not... Okay, so let's go back a little. We're gonna... When you're right here... Oh no, I went way too far, holy cow. So when you're right here, you're on cart, which is fine. You need people on it eventually to move it, and you just dropped one, so you don't want to be too aggro. But eventually, you eat this fire strike. You really shouldn't, especially when you have all your blinks up and you're on cart. But right here, you're looking around, and I don't know if it's because you don't know where someone is and you're worried like their Reaper's flanking, which is fine. But you could be helping your team by just shooting the shield, because right now your Rein shield has cracks in it, which means it's taking quite a bit of damage. Their Rein shield does not. So you can help your team out just by kind of spamming the shield. And I say you can help out because you don't really have anything else you could be doing right now, right? Ideally you want to be near Cart and the Lucio so you can get healed fully up. And since you got to be near them anyways to get healed, you might as well just be attacking the shield. Right, so you go for a little flank here. And this is a bit risky, because you're not really going to sneak up anyone here. So, you get spotted, so you just decide to leave. That's fine. You just dropped your Reaper. Alright, why did we recall? What was our health at? So you're at 120, and you recall to 147. You're near Cart and you're near Lucio. So realistically, whether you recalled or not, you'd have been around this heals anyways. And recall is a very, very important ability to have. When you have it up, you can be a lot more ballsy than when you have it down. And it has a 12-second cooldown, which takes a long while in a fight to come back. So, you see the Pharah, so you're going in. Now see, at 40 HP, that's definitely where I'd want to be recalling. But now you've got to just kind of run away and hide because you're hurt. Alright, so you get the beat drop. You focus the Zen. Very nice. You get the Zen pick, so you decide to leave. You recall. You're on their back line. They're not really paying attention. Their Ana's hurt. You're murdering her. Fantastic. Very nice. The Pharah's still on Cart, but you're okay. You recall because you're at 50. That's fine. Okay. Okay, dude. Alright. So a couple things. Your aim is a bit jittery. And this is kind of expected because you're in silver. But in the whole grand scheme of things, right? You did good focusing their healers, which is what you want to be doing. And then once you got their healers, you played point, you focus their Pharah. Fantastic. Can it be cleaned up? Yes. But all in all, not bad at all. Let's see if I can sneakily boot up a game real quick to show some drills we could be working on. Oh my goodness, this is not going well. Alright, so you're pushing, that's fine. Now the thing is, you do have Pulse Bomb. So one of the things you could be doing is setting up somewhere, getting ready to ambush someone and kill them with a Pulse Bomb. Because you're going to either kill the Zen and force out Trance when he really doesn't want to be using Trance, or you're going to kill the Ana, in which case they don't have their Ana. Both are really good. So you're on Cart, you're just shooting, that's fine. Beautiful. I like that you melee at the end of your thing. It's really nice. You're kind of playing a bit back. Nice. A bit of a... I don't know if you were worried about the Widow. Bit of an unnecessary recall though. You're at full health. Or 120 health. So you hadn't even lost 50 HP. So as long as you're above like 100 something, you don't really need to be recalling. Alright, so you forced out Trance. You still managed to cap. Fantastic. You're going to stay on Cart because your team isn't. That's good. Because at the end of the day, this is an objective-based game, right? Doesn't matter if you murder everyone as Tracer. If your team doesn't push the cart at all, then you're not going to win. Alright, so you move back. That's fine. Again, this is the main... I think the main improvement that can come from you right now is that you're recalling very preemptively. And there are reasons to recall, like if you know you're just about to get dumpstered and you're like, you know what, I actually moved to a really bad spot, let's redo that. But a lot of yours, you're in a difficult spot, but it's not like a do or die situation. That guy's probably going to Death Blossom. Alright, so their Widow gets one. There's no one. Unlucky. So, I really liked that you, went straight in for the grab and was ready to Pulse Bomb, and then you saw no one was in it, so you held it. That was really good, because a lot of people just auto-yeet that and hope that someone gets sucked in. So nice control there on yourself. Alright, so you got their Rein. You're just going to farm this D.Va. That's fine. Ooh. So you went for the health pack, but you were at full health. So you get the diva. Like you're at 210 right now. You're bigger than full health. I don't know if you thought the Zen was going in there, because he was, but kind of bit of an odd choice. But your team's still going in because you had a bunch of picks to start that with. Alright, so there you did fine. Try to get it. That's okay. Managed to get the Ana, so that was actually really nice. I don't expect like 100% pulse bomb accuracy ever from anyone. Unlucky that you managed to get the Ana after your team started dying, but you'd kind of already thrown it out before they died. So now you go and hide because you don't want to feed. This is fine. You don't want people to trickle in, so you're sitting group up. I find it weird that there's no audio, but that's okay. Okay, so the Zen's getting healed, so you're not going to win that. Nice recall to avoid killing yourself. Oh my god, dude. Beautiful. Beautiful. This was crispy clean. I love this. You're like, oh, I'm going to die. Let me recall. And then you see the Zen and you're just like murdered while he's like getting healed by his Ana. That was so nice, dude. Alright, so you go for a flank, that's fine, they nano. I find it... Your audio isn't here, and this is really throwing me off because I can't tell what ults are being used or what abilities are being used. So this is very hard. You dodge the self-destruct, that's fine, you're not behind. You try to kill the Rhine, but unluckily the D.Va body blocks without even knowing it. And then you die. That's fine, your team was already pretty much dying. So they have a Genji now instead of a Widow. For a sick flankeroos for Pulse Bomb. I like it. Oh my god. Beautiful. Beautiful. Genji Blades, but you beat drop, so he's gonna just die, hopefully. Nice. Alright. We recall into the Death Blossom. Unlucky. Unlucky. Wait, do you win this or do you lose this? Okay, so you do lose this. And closely, too. Yeah. Kind of lost track, but it's fine. Your Brig went in. Can't tell if your sensitivity is too low or too high. Or... So you gotta block off one of the spawns, that's fine. Okay. I can respect this. And then the suicidal yeet, I like it. Alrighty, so... Hey, perfect. One thing I think that you need to work on is your how do I add people? Bots. Your tracking. Your in general tracking of people. So there we go. So I would recommend like an Anna, right? Add some Annas. Add maybe a Lucio. What else? Maybe a Reaper. And this is something I would do as like a warm-up. Right? Just add a couple of bots. They don't even need to be hard, right? And then just go to general. Turn down cooldown. Then go to team 2. Turn off ults. Right? And then turn down damage dealt by them to about 10%. And then up movement speed just a little bit. Not even a crazy amount. Just like 106, 110, somewhere in that area. And then from here, pick a Koth map. Somewhere you can just easily do it, right? Alrighty, so, and here, your goal isn't even necessarily to kill people, but your goal is to get used to tracking with blink. So with the cooldown so short, you're able to blink pretty much as you want, right? So then you go in and you just try to, oh my tracking's gonna be horrible. My sense is loading. There we go. Right, and they're not gonna kill me, so I don't have to worry about that. And I just want to work on my aim, which is actually appalling right now. Right? And then you pick someone who's out of position, and you try to do that. Right. And then, unfortunately, I forgot to turn down theirs, so she's just gonna nade infinitely. But my goal isn't really to get kills here, is to just work on my tracking, and that I can quickly blink and move on and get position, right? And then once I get my pulse bomb, right, I can try to go for a pulse bomb, right? And my goal isn't to win this round, my goal isn't anything, my goal is to just get my tracking. And this would kind of be my warm-up, right? I'm not trying to win here. Where did Reaper go? There it is. Right? And then I just want to follow him and move until eventually I win. So my aim is actually abysmal right now, and I'm going to apologize for that, but I'm getting moved on the planes. Right? And I think if you did this a couple times, right, and then adding on to the fact that you're practicing against enemies who are just slightly faster than in a normal game, it'll help you kind of get your tracking down and your movement down and kind of reacting to your own blinks. Now, I don't recommend like grinding that out for hours on end until you're just one clipping and pulse bombing everything, because you can build some habits in that mode that aren't good because you're pretty much invincible, right? But you know, that's one quick way, right? Like I set that up in like 30 seconds to just kind of warm up a little bit, right? So I think if you got that down, because so far there's really only been 3 faults I can find, and they're not even big faults. So one was kind of your tracking gets a little bit lost in the sauce when things get chaotic, which is understandable. Happens to everyone, right? 2 is your eagerness to use recall, which you kind of want to try to be saving. And then the last one, which I haven't really brought up, is the way that you're playing overall. So I want to see how this goes on defense before I talk about it in detail, but you're playing Tracer as a sort of brawler instead of as a flanker or an assassin. And the way you're playing her isn't necessarily wrong, right? Because there's multiple ways you can play Tracer because she has such a versatile kit. But I feel like you could be more effective if occasionally you swapped up your styles. And so I'll go into more detail on that later. Alrighty, so you're defending now. You have Brig and Junk and Rhine so far, that's it. Alright, Brig, Junk, Rhine, Lucio. And eventually you get Azaria. Okay. So again, not strong heals, but not too bad. Fat damage coming out from your Junkrat. And then an alright tank line. Nothing too crazy. So you start off up in the tower? Yeah, okay. So you're in theater. Up top, this is fine. So this is why I didn't want to bring up your playstyle, because you're already changing it up from how you were doing on attack. You lose your Brig for a Wrecking Ball. And let's see, what are you up against? Hanzo, Zen, Mercy, Rhine. Oof. Alright, so you recall because you're at 50, that's fine. And, okay, your Zarya goes Brig. Okay. Bit weird that you have Wrecking Ball, but that's not the worst thing in the world. So you gotta pick on the soldier. Okay. And then you kind of bug out, but you're hanging near this. Yeah, your aim isn't actually bad. Real talk. Because that was a really nice clip on the Zen. I mean, you don't one clip him, but I'm not going to be expecting anyone to do that until they start hitting masters. But there you kind of get lost in the sauce when you go in a bit too deep and you use your blinks and you lose track of the Zen. So then he lives, but then your junk cleans up, so it's not that big of a deal. And then you recall because you're low, that's fine. Like I said, I wouldn't expect crazy amounts of heals with this comp, so playing a bit more safe is alright. You're farming their Rhine, which is beautiful. Beautiful. And then you're cleaning up. Huge. Actually huge. Really. So, when you're playing as Tracer, right? Let's assume, let's use blue because it stands out the most. This is your team, right? And I say it's a big blob because you have like Rhine, Zarya, Brig, Lucio, Junkrat, all this little blob. Now, you tend to play near your team as Tracer, and then when you see an opportunity, you go in, you get the kill, and then you get out. That's sort of the opportunistic playstyle, right? You just kind of play it safe until you see a chance, you go in, you mess them up, you get out. That's completely fine. It's a safe way to play. It's getting you results, it's getting you ult, you're not feeding your brains out, you're not dying a lot. So, I mean, in this situation, it's working so far. But, when you started off, you were playing kind of the flanker, where you waited for them to go in and then you hit them from the side. This can be very helpful. And then, especially when you get Pulse Bomb up, that's not necessarily when I would say you have to flank, but that's your best chance to flank. Because if the enemy team is coming back from spawn and they're going to the fight, and they don't know you're there, odds are they're going to walk in a straight line towards the objective. They're going to come out, go past this bus, go up here, right? And so if you're hiding somewhere over here, that's when it becomes the easiest time to pulse bomb them, because they're moving in a straight line, right? It becomes a lot harder to pulse bomb them when they see you coming and they start dodging and ducking and, you know, strafing, and then their Lucio boops you, or their, you know, someone else jumps in the way, or their Hanzo headshots you, or whatever. So I would say so far everything you've been doing is fine, but maybe to kind of, when you have your ult up, to vary up your playstyle just a little bit, just so that way they don't quite know what to expect. Because what you're currently doing is fine. Like, playing with your team and then seeing someone is low, going in and securing the kill, is a good thing, right? I am not in any way bashing the way you're playing Tracer right now. It's working and it's very effective. But you can be a bit more independent as Tracer, because right now you're being very reliant on your team, in which case you could also be playing as Soldier 76 or Reaper or McCree and playing with your team, and you'd basically be doing similar things to what you're doing now. So by adding in that flanking style every now and again, you're giving the enemy a much bigger headache, because then they've got to look out and be like, oh, where is that Tracer? Is she going to just show up out of nowhere and pulse bomb me again? And so I think that would be a good tool to throw in your toolkit. Alright, so you go up here, decide to harass the Mercy, she pistoleros, and you've got, oh, unlucky. And you get headshot by the Hanzo. 1v1s versus Hanzos are risky to take because they do have that one-shot potential, but it depends on where you're fighting, right? And the reason I say this is because when you're fighting here in this area, right, there's a limited amount of space you can be. So that Hanzo just has to hit somewhere in this little cone, right, if he's at the top of the stairs. Now, that makes his job infinitely easier than if, say, you were fighting him on the point, because then you can blink all around him, and he's got to try to, like, flick and hit you in the head. Now, he can still one-shot you, but it's a lot harder for him. So taking this fight was a bit risky, especially since you had Pulse Bomb, but that's okay. It was a nice shot on his part. So he gets Dragon, you drop your tire, and you start moving back to the fight. So you don't have Grav to combo with, so really you should just be using Pulse Bomb as an assassination. You go through here, unlucky. Oh, but you still get him? Oh my god, dude. And then you one-clip the Zen. Huge shit, dude. Huge shit. Honestly, I was expecting a lot worse, seeing that you're in silver, but I'm genuinely impressed. Beautiful, dude. Beautiful. Or dudette. I don't know what you are. So you move back a little. That's fine. Alright, so he's got the health pod down, so you're probably not going to win that. You get stuck. That just comes with time. Eventually you'll learn the little areas that you get stuck on while you're blinking. Unlucky. That was a good thought. That soldier is just gone. He's gonna go to the high ground and just rain death on your team. Oof. Alright. Okay. So. I don't... On one hand, I like that you just saw that your team was screwed and they all got murdered, so you're like, oh, I'm gonna flank. And then you're like, realistically, I'm not gonna make any big change. I'm not gonna swing this fight in a 1v6. Right? So then you're like, actually, hold on. And then you decide to go on point and just stall and then die to what I hope is regroup up with your team. But two things. One, you could be shooting to build your ult charge up, right? And two, you could have waited until, like, you weren't in any situation where you had to touch the point. So you could have just waited in hotel and then blinked away a little bit, and then once it got closer and your team was about to get back in the fight, then you go in. But I don't necessarily disagree with that play. I don't agree that you needed to go in, but I don't think it was a horrible thing that you did. I don't know about your junk tiring here, but let's see how huge he goes. Not huge at all, apparently. Oh, alright, well, you get the pack. You decide that's not safe. You decide to go on a flank. This is all well and good. Your team's getting aggro and rallying. That's fine. You don't want to get involved. Can't blame you. You're trying to set up. Decide to beat the crap out of the Mercy. Ooh, she should... Oh, unlucky. But, like I said, you can get value out of just staying alive behind the enemy, because when that Mercy is pistoling you, she's not healing up her team. The only thing I would say is you died with full blinks and full recall, and so you want to try to use your mobility, even if it's not to get the kill, and your recall, just to keep distracting at this point, because your junk is going to be doing work on this tiny little choke. And so if these two are looking at you, they're not healing up anyone over here. So even if you die, as long as your team wins the fight, it's kind of worth it. But then you die, and then your Brig died, so then you're kind of in trouble. Oh, ooh, keeps it PMA. I like it. Doesn't get salty in chat. Alright, so like here, right? They have 4 on cart, which means they have 2 off of cart. You could be going up these stairs to your right, and then coming up on this walkway, going down and around, and hiding in this hallway, and then dropping a fat pulse bomb on cart when it comes around the corner. You could continue down the hallway, go up the window around, and hit them from behind. You could blink up to the left here and go up here, and then when they come by, you can drop down and drop a pulse bomb on them. There's a lot of things you could be doing here, but you're waiting for your team. And so Tracer can be very independent. You don't need your team to put in any kind of work. So I think right here what I would be trying to do if I was you is get into a good position. So let's see where you decide to go. So you were going to go in, but then you saw the Zarya. That Zarya is pretty high charge, so I can understand you don't want to take that fight. Alright, so Zarya lost her bubble. And then you kind of get scared. So now you're flanking. Yes. Hit the fat pulse bomb on cart. Oh, unlucky. Alright, yeah, you're not going to... Okay. So one thing you've got to recognize is how quickly you can kill people. And so if someone gets a Harmony Orb on them, I'd say they become like a third harder to kill, right? Because they're constantly getting that heals. If someone gets a Mercy Beam on them, they become like 66% harder to kill. If someone has both on them, they're damn near impossible to kill unless you hit a disgusting clip of headshots. So at that point, when you see that a lot of heals have gone on to one person, you need to swap targets. So for example, here you whiff the pulse bomb. That's fine. Like I said, I never expect 100% like pulse bomb. So then you get him low, alright? But now, right, he has his heal pod, he has a Harmony on him, and he has the Mercy on him. Realistically speaking, you're not going to kill him. So at that point, your best option would have been just to back out, because even if you wanted to kill the Zen or the Mercy, they were also in the healing pod, and they would have started healing each other. So I would have just kind of blinked around and wasted their time. And hope my team can clean up the front part of the fight. Unlucky. Alright, so you have an Anno now. Which is good. Don't know why you still have... Okay, well, you lost the Wrecking Ball. Take that fight, dude. Don't be scared. If you see a Zarya that out of position in front of our team, that should be like lunch. That should just be like a snack. You're just like, I want that. But I do respect that you play it safe. You drop one of your healers, so now you have his Lucio. Huge, dude. When you actually like focus someone, you kill them so damn fast. It's impressive. Nice too. Mercy's Valking, so I doubt you're gonna kill that person. Recall at 1 HP, you ballsy fucker. Oh, and then the Zarya lives at 20. Unlucky. So let's see. Could you have realistically done anything more there? So the Zarya bubbles, and you stop shooting at her, but the Zarya is so low that even if she gets a little bit more charge, she should. If she dies, she loses all her charge. So at that point, I would have just kept shooting the bubble, and then meleeed it at the very end, and hoped that that was enough to burst the bubble and kill her through it. Unlucky though. I think they're gonna clutch this out, aren't they? Alright. So he Dragon's Cart. Alright, nice touching, so that way you don't lose it. Huge Pulse Bomb. Get grabbed, so unlucky. Then they trance. I'm guessing this is going to be GG. Yeah, that's fine. You're in that kind of final fight, so. Alrighty. So you guys are on attack now. So they have Zarya Mercy again. Go with a little scout, make sure no one's there. Alright, so, oh no, don't ignore him. Oh, come on. So, you have a Zen this round, which is good. But, right, his healing pod is down, because he just used it there. And then he gets discorded. That should be like your, I'm going in for the kill. Because now instead of having to do 200 damage, you've only got to do like 140 something. So at this point, I'd be all in on killing this soldier. He's got no heal pod. He's discorded. He's way the hell out of position. Moida him. Instead, you kind of go for the flank. And then ungo for the flank. And then decide that you really should have gone for the flank. But then you realize it's... So, this part I would say you need to make sure you know you have a plan, right? Because all of those plans you had were fine, right? You went this way and you're like, actually they're coming after me, I'm gonna go this way. And you're like, actually I'm taking a lot of damage, I'm gonna leave. Not one of those was necessarily wrong, but if I were you, I would have just committed to one, right? If you're gonna flank, flank. If you're gonna, just pressure from the side and then get out, just pressure from the side and get out. If you're gonna pressure from one side and then get all the way through, do that. Don't mix and match because you're wasting a lot of blinks and resources and you're not getting much out of them. It is so weird that this is like silent. Yep. Hi. Okay. Stop flickering. Let me see their comp. Alright, so they have Reaper, Zarya, Rein, Soldier, Mercy, Zen. That's what it looks like. Oh man. So your Rhine is a bot. Okay, you wanted to go into touch because you were running out of time. Fair enough. Yeah, there's not much we could say about that last life. Um, what about the one before it? All right, so you're here. You're hurt. You start getting healed. You have a harmony. You're not at full, but you're not hurt enough. So the one thing I will say it's weird is that when you start this engagement, you like wait a second to fully lock on before you start shooting. So there's that kind of weird delay, right? Because you blinking, see Mercy, right? If you started shooting now, your spread would hit her. You're tracking her this whole way very well, might I add. But you don't decide to start shooting until now. But by then, everyone's seen you. You do have recall, so at this point, I would have immediately turned around and recalled because 1, 2, like, nah, I'm not winning this. I think you wanted to use your blinks to get out, but that was a bit of a rough situation to be in. All right, and then you're out of time, so it happens. Okay, so let's see what you end up with. No, go back. I think I saw May. Hmm. Okay. Triple heals. Rhine Hog. You. Um. I don't like this because it means you and Hog have to be doing all the damage. Which means you can't flank as much because you're not going to get any heals if you flank. But then if you have this, you might as well be playing like Reaper or Soldier or McCree. But that's kind of not on you. Oh no, they went May instead of Mercy. Okay. But they just swapped, so your May is going to be late. Your team is just getting to the thing, and wow. They got you good, dude. So I think this is just going to fall apart. Okay, no, your team manages to stabilize for a second. Get revenge, dude. Show her who's boss. Alright, so you forced out recall. Huge. Huge. You unfortunately dropped your Rhine, and they brought back their Hanzo. Nice. Your May's doing work. So you decide to get out. Nice. Good recall. Good get out. That's fine. Risky blink. But this is... Alright. So there's a prime example of what I would call the mid-fight flusters, where you seem to get kind of overwhelmed and don't know who to aim at, and then you're kind of like looking every which way, and then you're blinking in and out, and then that's an unlucky death. Like, he's just spamming and he manages to get you. But I think your team actually has this. So you hold out for a little bit. Oh, unlucky. Don't tell me this tracer like clutches it out for him. Nice. Huge. Oh, I don't think that was meant for you. That was nice, dude. That was a nice stick on the Lucio. From what I've seen of your aim, I think that was planned, and so that was very nice. Well, either way, very nice. Clutch, foreplay, fork game. That's gonna be play of the game. So you're helping shoot at whoever your Mei is freezing. That's a good plan. Trace is getting healed by Valk, so I mean she's probably gonna be unkillable. So you decide to focus the Mercy because she's the reason the Tracer's unkillable. You decide to focus the Lucio so they don't have heals. This is all fine. Get the pack because you need it, and then you're kind of getting dumpstered, and then you get hit by your own mate. Yeah. Yeah. Not a bad effort from your part. I think mainly what needs to be worked on is not your aim per se, but your tracking while moving and fighting. Because you do, when you lock onto someone and then you decide you're gonna kill them, they die. Like you hit a lot more one clips than I do. And so I think you do a very good job in that, but I think it takes you a second to really get that kind of like locked on, this is who I'm going for, they're gonna die. And so I think if you speed up that process and get your tracking a bit more fluid to where you can kind of, you know, blink, turn around, shoot at them, blink over there, shoot at them, blink over here, shoot at them, blink back, keep shooting at them, right? And I think if you, right, I would start off in the training range, right, first against some stationary bots, just kind of left and right, regular strafing, with like a bot right here, and then do like blink, shoot, blink, do kind of side to side that way, and then do like diagonals, right, so that you have to go there, shoot, back, shoot, that way, shoot, and work on that. And then go into custom games and work on like actual enemies and kind of do that maybe just like 10 minutes, right? Maybe 15 minutes, all of it, like including training range and then custom game. And then go from there, because your pulse bombs weren't outrageous. Your tracking, or your like actual aim wasn't horrendous. I think if you got your tracking and like consistency of aim down, and then your ability usage, because you either recalled too early or you didn't recall, and so I think finding that sweet spot is where you'll see the most improvement. But all in all, really not bad. I think if you played a lot of games and just kind of sat down and grinded it out, you'd start getting like your tracking would improve naturally as a result of that, and with a little bit of practice, and then your ability usage would improve because of that, because you're getting more experience. But yeah, all in all, really solid gameplay. A lot better than I expected coming into this VOD. I don't know if you're like high silver or low silver, but a lot better than I expected. No info, but all in all, a good play. So good luck. Hope to see you climb higher, and if you got any more VODs, feel free to let me know. Take care.